Well, this night has gotten off to a fantastic start with the unveiling of the Dave Andreychuk Stanley Cup statue out on the plaza. And now inside the building, it's the Lightning and the Dallas Stars as we have a look at our starting netminders, Chief.
Well, we have two busy goaltenders, Rick. Each one of them have started or have played in 61 games, as you see there. Letton's record pretty well established there. Now Ben Bishop, his numbers are all up in the top 5 or 6 of the league. Taking a look at Lindy Ruff, he's the 7th coach in the Dallas history of this franchise, 22nd all-time before the with the Stars. John Cooper in his 2nd season, he was the 8th coach the Lightning have signed in their history.
Mike Lego will handle the opening faceoff. He and Steve Kazari are the referees. Ryan Galloway, Pierre Razico, the linesman. As the Valtteri Filppula line, and at least with Teddy Purcell on the left side and Ryan Callahan on the right. Victor Hedman, Sammy Salo on defense. The starting unit for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pass around for Callahan. He's able to tip that puck out of the zone. Tyler Seguin, number 91, down to Chushkin. Their top pick in the draft last summer, just 19 years of age. And he's becoming a force in the NHL. Outstanding young right winger, number 43 in this line with Jamie Benn, the captain of the team as well. Salo with a pass over for Purcell. Fans on the pass, intercepted by the Stars. Benn hands it off to Trevor Daley. He'll lob it in behind the net, reaching Seguin, and around for Alex Goligoski. Shoots, they score! It's deflected in by Benn. The slap pass by Goligoski right on target, and Dallas opens the scoring at the 40-second mark.
Boy, a turnover in the zone. The Lightning have been hurt with that a number of times. And a very quick goal by the Stars. This is a tremendous play by Goligoski. Everybody expecting him to shoot. All he did was make a really hard pass to Benn. And you see the nice hands that Jamie Benn has. Puts it home for his 31st. Quickly, in 40 seconds. Lightning are by 1, down by 1.
What a star that young man is becoming. He's had 3 20-goal years in the NHL, but really blossoming this year. Andre Palat starting on a line with Tyler Johnson. They're reunited. Steven Stamkos with him, busting to the net. The pass didn't make it through. Jordy Benn, the older brother of Jamie Benn, there to pick it off. Number 24, Lightning hold it in the Dallas zone. Jordy Benn leaving that puck in the corner. Colton Sevier will drop it back.
Little twist to the makeup of this line combinations. They did a whole difference in the morning skate as opposed to the warm-up or the start of the game.
Here's a look at tonight's injuries and scratches report, brought to you by Tampa General Hospital, the official healthcare provider of the Lightning and the St. Pete Times Forum.
Well, that youngster Chris Mueller was called up because of Whitney's injury, and it's the 5th time he's been recalled from the minors since March 11th.
And he's got a good seat to watch the game, as he has had a number of times this year. He has played 8 games for the Stars, but Mueller's really been on the move. Puck played across ice by J.T. Brown. Tapped to center by Patrick Nemeth, number 37, playing in only his 3rd NHL game. They've all come on this current 5-game trip for the Stars. Andre Schuster back in the Lightning lineup. Young defenseman, played 12 games in Syracuse, also had to deal with an upper body injury in the time that he was sent down. His last game for the Lightning was January 14th against the Rangers. Puck tapped toward Lettinen as Nikita Kucherov on the forecheck in there for the Lightning.
Yeah, Schuster, it was a shoulder injury that he had, and he was really missed a ton of time. Only got to play a very limited number of games down there.
39-year-old Sergei Gonchar launches that pass to the corner. Keith Hawley in the Lightning lineup and announces his presence with a big hit there. The puck knocked down in front by Tyler Johnson. Nate Thompson skates it out. He's working with Ryan Malone. An 11-forward, 7-defenseman lineup for John Cooper tonight. Pass off the stick of Eric Cole. He's making his return after 7 games on the sideline with an upper body injury. Ray Whitney was hurt in their last game against Carolina. Here's Johnson stepping in, swings wide against Goligoski. And behind to Ryan Malone, tapping it off the stick of Goligoski. And a penalty upcoming to Malone as he got tangled up with the Stars defenseman. A hooking call indicated at 2:56 against the Lightning.
Their power play, Dallas, hasn't been working that well lately.
Tampa Bay number 12, 2-minute minor for hooking.
But they get a chance to redeem themselves here real early. There you see the hook by Malone coming at 2:56, but about the middle of the road. Obviously, the first power play unit with Ben and Seguin is really good.
Ben's goal is 31st from Goligoski and Seguin at 40 seconds. The Dallas scoring play, and it's guided on goal there by Sevier. Gets it back to Seguin, who's at a point position with Goligoski. Here's a shot that's deflected over the net. Taken by Jamie Benn, pardon me. And the puck cleared out by the Lightning as Callahan gets it to center. He's going to carry it on as he works with Filppula. Lightning were starting to change, but Seguin speeding back there to stay on. He tries to step around Matt Carl, could not. Seguin trying to get to that puck. He play it back out for Gonchar, the veteran defenseman, into Seguin. Sevier trying to hook up there with Alex Chiasson. At the point, Jamie Benn looks for a shooting angle. Callahan doesn't give him one. Callahan, one of the best shot blocking forwards in the NHL. That shot tipped over the net. Eric Brewer gets to the puck, and it's gloved ahead. Hand pass called here against the Stars. Face-off coming out of the zone. 59 seconds to go in the Malone penalty.
One shot on goal, and so far for them with their power play. But Dallas is a pretty consistent team. They get good starts. They have a trouble finishing of late, but that's usually the first 40 minutes. They're really tough. And they have a pretty good solid plus as far as goal differential is.
Lightning coming in with 93 points, 2 behind the Canadiens. And once again, the Lightning with a game in hand on Montreal. The Canadiens are hosting the Red Wings. 2 hot teams going at it in Montreal tonight. Gonchar at the point. Watched by Palat. Puck fed to Nichushkin. Shooting a save by Bishop. In tight, the rebound worked free by Hedman. Palat fires it out of the reach of Johnson. He'll race for it against the veteran Gonchar, who controls it. Dallas coming in 1 point out of the second wild card in the Western Conference behind Phoenix. The Stars have 2 games in hand on the Coyotes. They're making up one of those games tonight. Trevor Daley fakes the shot. 12 seconds to go in the power play for Dallas. Wrist shot stopped by Bishop, and it's cleared away by Brewer. That'll just about do it for the penalty. Malone back on. Jordie Benn starts it ahead. Pass deflects off Schuster, getting to it. Vern Fittler from the angle fires off the side of the goal. He's got it back. Brendan Dillon. And behind the net to Ryan Garbutt. Thompson curling back, avoids the hit, hands the puck off to Matt Carl. Stamkos back for it. And the puck taken by Fittler at center. He'll enter that zone along with Garbutt. He'll keep it on the boards, around for Jamie Benn. He's checked there by Alex Killorn. Benn has it back, he shoots, he scores! Benn got it through Bishop, and Dallas now leads 2-0.
Boy, at this point of the period, they are just getting overwhelmed, the Lightning. Dallas is much quicker, they're much harder on the puck, and they've forced a lot of turnovers. And Benn's quick shot finds his way through the legs or through the body of Bishop. So his 32nd of the year has given them a very quick 2-0 lead here. And it's been hard work that's kept the play inside the Lightning zone, and it's resulted in these 2 goals.
And the Lightning found themselves down in the first period 2-0 to Calgary the other night as the Flames scored twice in 15 seconds. Dallas had a similar experience in Raleigh. They've opened up this road trip with impressive wins in St. Louis, a 5-0 shutout in Washington, and then lost 4-1 in Carolina to the Hurricanes. And, of course, they've been fading in the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. And Dallas certainly expected more with so much on the line for their playoff implications. Nikita Kucherov lost that puck on the line, and Ben has it. So quickly, he's gotten to 32 goals. Garvin and Fiddler pick up the assists on the goal at 5:37, so they score twice in about 5 minutes even. Chiasson centers, the puck grabbed in front, relayed back to the point. Daly with a shot deflected wide. Insano locking up there with Chiasson. Goligoski wanting shooting, and Bishop the stop. Trevor Daly, 10-year veteran now in that Dallas defense. Dustin Jeffrey couldn't pick up the puck, the Lightning do. Kucherov bouncing it ahead to Brown.
It's a bad sign right now when every time you get the puck inside, get control of it, you have to get it out of the zone to get a line change.
Little problem with the scoreboard right now. The shot's not available for us to pass along to you via the scoreboard. We will via computer. 6-0 Dallas. Maybe that's why they're not up there. Puck left, Callahan has it. He's bumped out of there. It's dropped back. Gudas fans on his shot, deflects in front, bunted wide. Jordy Ben reaching for it. It's taken now by the Stars and Valtteri Filppula. Looking to get something started offensively for the Lightning. Carl wristing it, and it's blocked by Jordy Ben. He'll play it ahead. And Roussel was checked there by Gudas. He's going to get called for a penalty.
For what?
As Roussel is down and shaken up, but Gudas was coming across to get to the puck, and he did so. And ran into Roussel at the same time. So while they're attending to Dominic Roussel, will step aside with Dallas leading 2-0. Antoine Roussel, who was on the receiving end of that hit, recovering on the Dallas bench, Chief, and a penalty upcoming here to Gudas.
Have to see what it is. You see he came across or going for it. Watch, and he cuts across and takes him out of the play. But Roussel was reaching for the puck.
As Lightning captain. Thanks for what you and your teammates did 10 years ago.
Gudas went to the Lightning locker room.
In just the same way. Congratulations
He must.
again.
And a match penalty, illegal check to the head. Well, that will be a 5-minute uninterrupted power play. You know what? I don't understand that. He's channeling his body in to get the puck. He's reaching for it and runs into him. So you try to go to get positioned to try and screen the guy off to get the puck. He runs into him and gets the,
So many of these hits that we see that are the ones that result in the big penalties, match penalties, and so forth, don't involve trying to make a play of the puck. That one did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was en route to getting to the puck, and he got to the puck. You know, obviously a big collision, and fortunately Roussel's okay. It looks like, anyway, on the Dallas bench. He hasn't gone to the locker room. That's a good sign. 5-minute match penalty for a check to the head at 7:33. So Gudas is done for the night. Kucherov serving the major. And the Lightning still have 6 defensemen suited up for this game. Goligoski dropping it back. The pass down to Jamie Benn, trying to step in around the defense. Sevier with a shot. It was snuffed out by Brewer and cleared to center.
Big difference between this one and Douglas Murray's hit was Murray jumped at went out and hit him specifically. When Gudas hit him, Roussel ran into his body. Gudas' body, that is.
Seguin, 9 power play goals among his 34. Can't collar the puck there as it was knocked free by Brown and taken back by Seguin. Getting it down to Benn, shooting a save by Bishop. Jamie Benn bidding for a hat trick here in the first period. Uninterrupted power play, as Chief noted, so if the Dallas Stars score, they continue with a man advantage The only thing that could change the manpower is a penalty against them. Nichushkin flying through. Schuster draws the assignment and stayed right with him. Nichushkin. He's got Sean Horkoff in front of Ben Bishop. Daly with it. Around they work it. Nichushkin has it. Rifles it back to Gonchar. Driving and a save by Bishop. Battle on for the rebound. It's in the skates of Hedman and covered. Bishop found it. Dove out. Covers it. 3:21 to go in the major.
Good job there. A little bit more intense too in front of that net. They were really bound and determined to make sure that puck wasn't going to get loose and get free for a Dallas player to get a hold of it. Both Hedman and Schuster making sure they had that stick of those guys in the net, or in front of the net, excuse me, trying to jam it home.
Off the face-off, puck comes back to Bishop, and as he covered it and was intending to move it, got a quick whistle there from Steve Kazari.
Well, now he's trying to say Bishop's at fault. He blew the whistle too fast.
Coming into this major, Lightning have killed 17 of the last 19 times short. Neither team scored a power play goal when they got together March 1st. With the Lightning winning that game 4-2. Puck cleared out by Ollie. Pass ahead for Horkoff, the former Edmonton Oiler. Cody Eakin takes it. Throws it off the boards, and it bounced over Filppula's stick. He had clear sailing into the zone. Nichushkin dropping it. Gonchar's drive blocked by Callahan. Puck played back to Eakin, the former Washington Capital, around for Trevor Daly. Salo got a jump ahead of Eakin to get to that puck. And it's cleared out by Filppula. Short shift for the Lightning. They'll change. 10 minutes to go in this first period. Uphill climb for the Lightning. Down 2-0 and shorthanded for another 2.5 minutes.
Dallas has been a little bit concerned because they picked up 5 power plays in each of the last 2 games, so that's 10 total of the last 2 games. They were a team that very seldom took penalties.
Jamie Benn holds it in over for Seguin. Chason is in front of Bishop, deflecting that puck. It was off the legs of Matt Carl in front, batted down for Seguin. Around to Jamie Benn. Seguin turns in front. He'll fire. Glove by Bishop. 1:55 remaining in the match penalty.
Doing a really good job of this. They've really limited the Stars with any kind of shot totals on there. There's been a couple of jam sessions in front of the net, and Ben Bishop's been very strong, as you see there. A couple of shots, and then that long wrist shot. Bishop handled it rather easily.
Indy Ruff's team fighting back into contention for a playoff spot in the Western Conference, going 16-8-3 in their last 27 coming in. They had a stretch in January where they won 1 game in 10 and fell out of the picture, and the battle to get back in a very quality-laden Western Conference. Trying to catch Phoenix. Looks like Minnesota is in pretty good shape for that first wild card in the West as Tyler Johnson steals the puck, clears it out. Jamie Benn. The pass now for Seguin. Former Bruin for a couple of years, moving on to the big deal last summer involving Louis Eriksson and Rich Peverly, who came to Dallas and obviously had that cardiac event on the bench a couple of weeks ago. I understand he's doing well. Jamie Benn with a puck. Beating it back and well out of the reach of Seguin. Just over a minute to go, and the penalty being served by Nikita Kucherov. Sergei Gonchar finds Cody Eakin. He steps into that zone, rifles it back around. The Dallas Stars have a 9-0 shot advantage with their 2-0 lead on the scoreboard and considerable power play time. They had 2 minutes earlier, now another 5 here as Callahan steers the play in. Gives it to Filppula, and he's content to keep it on the boards, trying to chase down that puck. I'm sure the Stars have seen plenty of him over the years. In his time in Detroit. Eakin swerves in. Forced behind the net now by Salo. 15 seconds to go in the major, and here comes Stamkos to center. He's got Killorn with him. Stamkos with a shorthanded goal this year on the backhand, and his shot was blocked by Daly. Dribbled in and on Lettinen, and he plops a glove on it with 4 seconds to go on the match penalty being served by Kucherov.
I'll tell you, those 2 quick goals plus this 5-minute major, boy, has really jump-started this Lightning team. Stammer coming with an inside-out, trying to get to the backhand. It was blocked by Daly. But he had everybody looking for him to go for the forehand. They know how good a forehand shot he has.
Kucherov set to come out. Dallas getting it from the face-off. And now the Lightning finally back to full strength. They've killed 7 minutes worth of penalties in this first period, but trailed 2-0. And Kucherov has the puck. Gets to the red line, rifles it in off the glass. Lettinen, a bouncing puck, eluded him. Garbutt had it chipped away. Jordy bent after it, leaving it for Brendan Dillon. 7 minutes remaining here in this first period. We know Radko Gudas as the hits leader among rookies this year. Brendan Dillon was the hits leader in the NHL among rookies last year. Schuster with a puck, lifting it out to center, tracked down by Tyler Johnson, cuts in with Palat. Johnson with a burst, backhander stopped by Lettinen. He's tall at 6'4", makes the save and hangs on. Johnson and the Lightning trailing 2-0. Stars in front 2-0. Associate coach Rick Bowness handles the Lightning defense, and we asked him this morning about the expectations of Andrej Schuster, who's returned to the team from Syracuse.
We expect him to play like he did when we sent him down. We didn't send him down due to poor play. We sent him down to get more playing time on a consistent basis. And unfortunately, he had some injuries down there and didn't play as much as we would have liked. But this kid moves the puck very well. He has got a great hockey sense. His positioning play is good. And he's just going to need a little bit of time, and hopefully it comes very quickly, just getting used to the pace again. But if he plays the next little while like he did earlier in the year, he's going to help us and he'll fit right in.
Headshot by Brewer, the third for the Lightning here, as their offense starting to awaken. Bad pass ends up at center, knocked free by Jamie Benn, and the Stars dump it in.
Yeah, Schuster played in 38 games, had 7 points, and was a +4.
Shot for the point, blocked in a crowd of players. Filppula can't find the puck. And finally, Brewer pitchforks it ahead. Ryan Callahan in a one-on-one there. Shooting and a save by Lettinen. Callahan got it back. Couldn't make the pass to Filppula. Hedman across for Filppula. They enter the zone with Palat. Here's Johnson off the bench. Fowler turns in that corner. Out to the point to Hedman. Andrej Schuster. Now to Stamkos trying to curl it back toward the net. And it was off a stick and wide. Palat gets it back. And he sends it out of the reach of Schuster. Horkov has it. Horkov into that zone. Looks in front. And Sevier's stick tied up just enough by Hedman to prevent him from tapping that one on goal. Johnson back. He'll use the back glass to find Stamkos. Nemeth up the boards. Auley's there. He's checked by Horkov. Keith Auley, Andrej Schuster. Chief, we haven't seen much of either one of them, even though Keith's been here. And they're both going to be called upon now with the ejection of Gudas. Charged to the playoffs with the Lightning. Get the best seats at the best prices to all playoff games this season by becoming a season ticket member for next season. Visit BeTheThunder.com or call 813-301-6600 to learn more.
Yeah, Keith Auley hasn't played. This is the first time in 12 games that he's played. We played back in the 10th of March against Phoenix. But those, you got to give it credit to these guys that sit for a long time. You know, Keith Auley, Mark Barberio, they really work hard at their conditioning and try to keep themselves ready. Nothing's like game shape, don't question. But they sure work hard to make sure they got it as quickly, as close to it as possible when they get a call.
Now the coaches on the ice make sure that level is high, as well as Mark Lambert, the strength and conditioning coach of the Lightning, off the ice. Nate Thompson arriving in that corner. Auley pinching in, backing up the play is Killorn. He's got plenty of room, walks it, fires, glove save by Lettinen. Quality stop there, reaching around Malone and Gonchar to hold off the Lightning with 4.5 to go here in the first.
The score, Dallas up 2-0 with 4:35 remaining. Take a look at the season, the first 45 games with the Stars. You see their goals just under 3, but the goals allowed in the power play really not very solid. And then, of course, the last 31 games, which has really helped them make this big push for the playoffs. The power play's been very good for them, and their defensive game has come along quite well. And that could be attributed to the fact that they're just getting used to, getting adjusted to Lindy Ruff, their new coach.
After 15 years as the head coach of the Sabres, coming to Dallas this year, along with Jim Nill, the general manager, hired back in late April last year. Here's a shot, a save there by Bishop. On the shot by Cody Eakin. A lot of people in hockey waiting a long time to see when Jim Nill would take a general manager's job. Years of assisting Ken Holland in Detroit, a great hockey mind and certainly a top administrator, and he finally found the opportunity he liked in Dallas. The shot taken by Dillon, that's tipped wide and picked up by Hedman.
Well, one of his really good moves this year was getting young Sagan from Boston. It really gave him a tremendous young player, 22, been to the Stanley Cup Finals twice, won one of them. So you're getting a ton of playoff experience in a young man with a great deal of skill.
Palat for the Lightning. Lead pass for Johnson. Stepping in against Goligoski, firing and a save by Lettinen. Lightning have it. Stamkos to the point. Brewer the shot. It's tipped just wide by Palat. Chopping it in front. It ends up on goal. A save there. Stamkos keeps the play alive for the Lightning. Palat with it. Sends it off the stick. And the 291's tangling up there. Stamkos and Sagan.
That's an interference call, big time.
Crowd wanted a call there. The Chief wasn't the only one. They didn't get one. Brewer chased back. Both teams need to change the forwards with under 3 minutes to go in the first. The Lightning here in the last 5-6 minutes, Chief, since getting through that major, have really gone to the attack.
Wow, they've really got their skating legs going there. They're really playing like we've seen them, like they played against Montreal.
Kucherov battling in that corner against Nemeth, the Swedish defenseman. Sevier will play it in, and back for it, it's Carl, and he makes the touch for the icing call.
Take a look at this play right here. Really good play, coming right through, just deflected wide. Then off the end boards, Palat tried to make that play. Watch Lettinen get back there very quickly. Not only with his pad, but with his blocker as well, and make that save on the short side.
Lightning are going to end up out shooting the Stars in this first period, after Dallas got off to a 9-0 start in that statistic. Face-off won by Filppula. And now it's 10-8 Dallas. Filppula starts it in, hacked at there as Horkoff really clamped down on Filppula's stick, got the puck free.
Hold on.
Dallas finishing a change. The Lightning doing likewise. Jordy Ben.
I just could say, Rick, you can sort of see an awful lot of Detroit in both these teams. Jim Nill, of course, is just a GM over Detroit. And Steve Yzerman also coming over from Detroit. They really want that puck possession game. Detroit has been so successful with it for all these years.
Puck deflected down the ice by Callahan. We'll get an icing call here. Connection as well between Yzerman and Lindy Ruff, part of Team Canada and winning the gold in Sochi as well as Vancouver in 2010. Let's look ahead to our intermission. Nate Thompson will visit with Chris Dingman. And we'll have the captain, Dave Andreychuk, his big night. Chatting with Chris Dingman as well. Highlights and stats all coming your way. But Ruff, an associate coach on both those gold medal winning teams, and obviously Steve Yzerman, the managing director.
The thing now is to get some sustained pressure and action in and around Lettinen. The one thing about that, the last game,
Play out in front, they score! Sagan converts. Jordy Ben found him in the slot. And Dallas ups its lead now to 3-0.
Lost the faceoff in the zone, or at least Dallas wins the faceoff right here. Gets it right back. Now they find him in the middle of the ice. He gets a hold of the puck and then just takes that quick shot. Not a real hard one. And it goes underneath the pad of Ben Bishop.
Well, Sagan's got goals in 3 consecutive games now. And 35 on the season. Previous career high in his brief time in the NHL was 29, his second year with Boston. Dillon leads that puck. Brown trying to create something for the Lightning. Chiasson dropped it in front, and Thompson had a shot at it. Chiasson gets it back. The Boston University product chips it down the ice. Salo there, guides it away from the slot. A minute remaining here in this opening period. Dallas opened up with a 2-0 lead, a 9-0 shot advantage, 7 minutes of power play time. The Lightning fought through killing those penalties. Didn't surrender anything while shorthanded. Gudas getting a match penalty for a check to the head. Put 8 straight shots on the Dallas net. However, they got nothing to show for it, and it's 3-0 Dallas here. The last goal, Sagan's 35th from the 2 Ben brothers, Jordy and Jamie. What a first period for Jamie, 2 goals and an assist.
Wow, they're finally calling a penalty here. Stamkos had his stick slash out his head.
Minor slashing.
Roussel. But with 26 seconds, it's going to have to carry over into the second period unless the Lightning can win this draw and get some pretty good action on the goaltender Lettinen.
Roussel comes into this game 3rd in the league in penalty minutes. He now has 195 minutes. Tom Sestito of Vancouver at 203. Chris Neal of the Senators at 202 ahead of him. Slashing the call at 1933. Stars do get it for the face-off, and it's driven down the ice by Trevor Daley. Pass for Filppula. Lightning 12 of their last 43 in the power play. Boy, they need some success in this area to get back in this game. Palat can't find the puck. Daley does, chips it away. And that will do it for period 1. One that the Lightning would like to forget. 1:34 remaining on the penalty to Antoine Roussel. When the second period gets underway, Dallas an 11-8 shot advantage in the final analysis, but they've got 3 goals, 2 by Jamie Benn, 1 by Tyler Seguin. They're 2 big guns connecting against Tampa Bay. 3-0 Dallas in front of the Lightning to start the second period. Enjoy Lightning hockey with the all-inclusive Lexus Lounge at the Tampa Bay Times Forum, featuring gourmet food, mixed drinks, and valet parking. For more information, call 813-301-6600 or visit TampaBayLightning.com. Beautiful Saturday night here in the Bay Area. Inside the building, Lightning are searching for some ways to come back from 3-0 down, Chief.
Yeah, they've got to really start getting to the net, getting into the tough areas, especially in the middle of the ice. They got to have more than one and done in the Dallas zone, and they can't give up any more goals.
Well, Dallas, as we showed you there in that first period, they've had a pretty good second half of the season and has pushed toward the playoffs as far as the Western Conference is concerned. We look at the stats in the first period. The shots end up 11-8. First 9 went to Dallas, and the Lightning came back with 8 in short order. But those power plays, 7 minutes of power play time for Dallas with a major penalty, a match penalty that goes as 5 minutes on the scoreboard, 10 minutes in the record of Radko Gudas. Filppula 5-2 in the face-off circle. Tyler Johnson had 3 of those 8 shots.
Yeah, that face-off circle seems a little bit strange to me, Rick. It appeared that Dallas won every important face-off in the offensive zone. In fact, they ended up getting a goal off a face-off, but according to the official stats, they only run 39% of them. But I think right now, when you take a look at that's the one thing, that they've talked about it in the past, but I don't think they've talked about it anymore, about a match penalty or a major penalty. If you get a 5-minute major, it only counts as 1 power play if you don't score on it. If you score on it, then it goes to a separate power play. If you score 3 goals, it's 3 power plays. Kind of a strange rule.
Well, the Lightning have a power play to start this second period. 1:34 to go on the Antoine Roussel slashing minor. And so maybe the Lightning can get to work early in the second period and see if they can start to turn this game around. Palat, Filppula, Callahan, Stamkos, and Hedman. The fivesome on the ice in front of Ben Bishop to start the second period. Goligoski will send the puck down the ice. Dallas killing penalties. Only 21 out of 30 in the rankings. A little over 80%. Lightning on the power play. They've worked their way up to 18.2%, 13th best. And they need a power play goal here. Stamkos trying to turn the corner. Goligoski matched his speed. Palat leaving that puck along the boards. Hedman getting to it. Callahan beats up with Daly in the corner. Palat's on the scene. Daly getting to it. Playing it to Fiddler, the veteran penalty killer. Couldn't get it out. However, it sent the rest of the way down the ice by Jamie Benn, who's been everywhere here in the first 21 minutes.
And Dallas has given up 6 power play goals in their last 6 games. Haven't really had that great of penalty kill. It works out to a little over 71% rather. Lightning would love to take advantage of it right here, but they're quickly running out of time. They haven't got set up yet in the offensive zone.
29 seconds remaining on the Roussel minor penalty. Hedman around for Sammy Salo. Getting it free, bouncing puck, corralled by Killorn. Tyler Johnson with it. Dropping it back, Matt Carl. Waiting for traffic to develop in front of Kari Lehtinen. And Salo rifles when it's handled by Lehtinen, and he'll hang on with 8 seconds to go on the Lightning power play.
That just seems when the shot came in, and Killorn's right in front, but you're off to the blue line, off to the boards, and you can see it right there. When it's waist high, it's a fairly easy shot to handle as a goaltender.
Now Sammy has found the back of the net 4 times this year. Thompson facing off against Vern Fiddler, and the Lightning get control. Carl to Sal. Gives it now to Teddy Purcell. Walks in, beating it to Malone. It bounced off his stick and poked away by Lehtinen. Out of the box comes Roussel. Here's the shot. It's tipped wide by Malone. He got a piece of it with the shaft of his stick. Purcell drives to the front of the net. The puck covered by Lehtinen, and there's a whistle. Now Malone pushing and shoving in there with Jordy Ben. And it's Jamie, the younger brother, is 24. Jordy 26 years old. Jamie a 5th round pick, but Jordy an even longer path to professional hockey, Chief. He spent time in the ECHL, the Central Hockey League, playing in Allen, Texas. And Stars eventually brought him into the program. There is Jordy, and he's found a home. Great story on the Stars defense.
And it was kind of unique when they said the 3rd goal, Sagan from Ben and Ben.
Sounds like a law firm.
Yeah.
Hedman looking for a friendly stick. Couldn't find one. Palat curling it. Stamkos open. Shooting. He scores! The Lightning break through here in the first 2 minutes of period number 2.
His first in 4 games, 24th of the year, but boy, that is a huge goal. It's one of the few times he's gotten wide open in this game. Watch how he backs right into the slot. He's wide open, takes the quick shot, and just absolutely overpowers Lehtinen and hit a piece of his equipment, but found its way past him to put the Lightning on the board.
Number 24 in the season for Steven in 33 games this year. And the captain sparking his team with that one. Sagan trying to bounce right back. Gets in behind Salo. Draws a penalty. Fires it wide. And we'll get a call for holding against Salo.
It's amazing to me, Rick. I was watching the game this afternoon in Boston where a player just grabbed the guy by the chest and threw him down, you know, like a check, but they call that a check. Whereas this one, when you put your hand on the back of the body, it's going to be called holding.
Well, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chief.
Let's just say 2:05 is the time. Third power play for Dallas.
8 seconds after the goal by Stamkos, the Lightning take a penalty. Shots now 11 apiece. Filppula wins a faceoff. Lightning have won 5 of 8 faceoffs while shorthanded. That's helped them get through those 7 minutes in the first period.
Yeah, that was a huge factor in their success in that penalty kill.
Goligoski came for the Penguins a couple of years ago. James Neal, Matt Niskanen going to the Penguins in that deal. Goligoski was on hand when the Penguins won the Stanley Cup. Not quite the same success for Neal and Niskanen since. Puck cleared out.
No, yeah, Pittsburgh had to make a decision between Letang and Goligoski. Both of them very similar in the sense that they're very good offensive players. Letang's had some great success with the Penguins.
And Dallas really was looking for a mobile defenseman at that time to complement Trevor Daley, who's been there for 10 years. And they're still looking to upgrade that unit, though Goligoski certainly is mobile. Here's a shot by Eakin, and it's stopped by Bishop. Puck chopped back to the blue line, and Seguin has it. Pass out in front, and it's deflected wide as Cole tried to make a play, and the Lightning send it back out. Palat and Johnson connecting. Johnson drives the net, cuts in, saved by Lettinen. Big pile up involving Lettinen, Johnson, and Seguin in that goal mouth. The Stars busted back. Horkoff leading it now to Daley. Palat and Hedman get the assists on the Stamkos goal. Here's a quick shot by Daley, reaching Bishop. He makes the pad save, and the clear by Hedman. 15 seconds to go in the penalty to Salo. Gonchar. His pass is off Seguin's stick, reaches Bishop. Will use the glass, trying to slip it past the dangerous Tyler Seguin. JT Brown with a pass ahead to Killorn. Here comes Ollie driving the net. Killorn loads up, shoots, deflected. What a reaction, stopped by Lettinen there, as it looked like it was Dillon who deflected that puck in the slot. And Lettinen had to react with a left pad. Brown has it. Teams at full strength, pass in front. Seguin right there to intercept. Out for Nichushkin. The youngster fires and Bishop handles it, decides he'd better cover it.
Let's see the Stamkos goal tonight. Means Furniture is donating.
As Bishop and Jamie Benn have a bit of a discussion there. Let's watch that player on the net.
As he came back to the forehand, he tried to get that puck underneath the pad of Lettinen, and boy, Lettinen just got hammered by both Johnson and as well. And then there's another big shot right there that Lightning had a good opportunity. Kind of wonder, when they call that goalie interference on that disallowed goal for the Lightning when they barely touched him. This time you get your goalie knocked almost through the end of the goal.
Johnson and Palat, that 1-2 combination, nearly combining on a goal there as Johnson tipped that pass on net. And they've got the radar working, those two, Chief, now that they're back together.
Boy, the thing of it is they really got their feet moving. They are so quick, and they just come at everything with full speed, and they handle the puck very well at top speed. They don't seem to have to slow down too often, Rick, when the puck is in their possession or when they get to the puck.
And you just hope Stamkos can keep up with them. Face off, Hedman has it. Shoot, saved by Lettinen. Purcell behind the net. Checked by Jordy Benn. Callahan has it. Out to Hedman. Schuster keeps it on the perimeter, around for Teddy Purcell. Worked free by Jordy Benn. Sevier couldn't get it out. As Filppula right there to hold it in. Pass ahead for Horkoff. And it's poked ahead of the zone by Fiddler. Andre Schuster off the boards, held in by Eakin. Schuster locks up the veteran Horkoff. Callahan getting it to Filppula. It's behind him. Taken over now by Cody Eakin, and the play is offside.
Again, that visitors bench, the door that you go into the bench when you're making the line change is inside that blue line, as we point out. The was very fortunate for the Lightning because they had an odd man rush coming in on that play.
Victor Hedman with the assist on that Lightning goal. Now 50 points as a defenseman. The only two defensemen who have achieved that in Lightning history. Roman Hamrlik, 65 points, the all-time single-season record back in 1995-96. And Dan Boyle, who topped 50 points 3 times and got to 60 once. Here's a shot just sent wide by Cody Eakin. And the point, Daly. The turnaround by Ryan Garbutt is blocked by Ollie. Chips it off the glass to center. Eakin tips it in. He came from the Caps in the Mike Ribeiro deal a couple of years ago. Stamkos turned back. Lightning with the edge in shots now after Dallas had a 9-0 advantage early in the game. It's 15-14 Lightning. Ollie lugs it in. Stamkos getting to it. Palat circles. Feeds it across. Salo there. Looks for a shooting angle. Doesn't have one. Tyler Johnson out of the corner. Now to Stamkos looking to pull the trigger. Oligoski followed him all the way to the boards. Johnson circles. Puts on a burst against Jamie Benn. Cuts free. Shoots. Saved by Lettinen. Nice little cat and mouse game there with Jamie Benn and Johnson. Johnson got free for the shot, trying to build on that earlier goal.
Are down by 2 now with that goal by Stamkos. Andre Palat picked up an assist. Let's take a look at the rookie point leaders this season. And Nathan McKinnon had a goal and assist this afternoon in a 4-0 victory over St. Louis. And he's maintained that 5-point lead over Palat. Tyler Johnson in third.
And Johnson 6 shots on goal, 5 of the scoring chances in this game. So he's been a threat every time out there, and they certainly need that to continue. Callahan called in to face off against Fiddler, is a 53% man in the circle. Hedman has it. Now to Thompson, turning, directed on goal. They score! Andre Schuster, first goal in the NHL. It's a big one as the Lightning down a goal.
Wow, what a big face-off win by Ryan Callahan. Tremendous. Nate Thompson was thrown out of there. Watch this play right here. Callahan gets it right back to the point. Now Schuster's right over here. Look at him. He'll move right in there. Rebound comes right to him, and he's right there to find out to top it home. But again, nice play. When you activate that defense, it really puts pressure on the defensive team because they don't expect that as often. They don't see that backdoor, especially from a young guy like Schuster.
Scores his first goal in his 41st NHL game. Played a couple of games last year with the Lightning. He was in their opening night lineup. Played 20 minutes against the Bruins in opening night. Had some needed playing time in Syracuse. And celebrates his return to Tampa Bay with a goal, his first one. 1-goal game. Salo. Across for Filppula. Callahan decked in that corner, gets right back up, heading to the front of the net. He shakes free to get the pass. His shot was deflected. Bit back ahead to Jamie Benn. Benn curling it at the line. It's tipped by Salo all the way back to Bishop. Malone and Thompson the assists on the goal at 6:44. So on a night when they celebrate Dave Andreychuk with his 640 career goals, Andre Schuster gets number 1.
He's going to have a tough time getting that smile off his face, but I'll tell you what, he's got a hockey game now.
Chief, you made the comment off air that this game has gone kind of the way of the earlier meeting between the Lightning and Stars, where Tampa Bay jumped in front 3-0. Stars got the 3-2. But then Sammy Salo got that big goal in the third period. We'll see where this goes.
Exactly, and that's one where Bishop had 39 saves.
Well, since Dallas had the first 9 shots of the game, the Lightning have outshot Dallas 18-5. And the Lightning doing things now without Radko Gudas, who was given a match penalty for a check to the head. back at 7:33. They got 2 minutes of work out of Radko before he was sent to the locker room. And they have fought through 9 minutes of shorthanded play here in the first 28 of this game. Stamkos a face-off win, back to Schuster. And here's Stamkos working around the net. Curls to the slot, just finally in a tap free. Palat got it back. Schuster wanting, shooting, deflected, rolls to Letton, and he covers it up.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some battles going on in front of that net. We talked about the last game, Rick, and even after, and the coaching staff had talked about it quite often about how the Lightning didn't really get to the dirty areas or get in front of that net. There was a bunch of rebounds to be had. Couldn't get there or didn't get there. That hasn't been the case so far in this game. They've been really getting in that net. They've really been battling in front, hoping for position as well as rebounds.
Yeah, after that slow start where Dallas was all over the front of the Lightning net, Tampa Bay started to get a presence in front of the Dallas net, and they've built on that. Of course, that's been the mantra. It seems like every time we talk to, whether it's John Cooper, Rick Bowness, Steve Thomas, George Gwozdecky, okay, what does this team need to do? Net front presence is always at the top of the list or very high up that list. Hedman lost the puck. It's wristed in by Fiddler. Bishop curling it back around for Schuster. Killorn long backhand, Fried coming back to get it. It's Kucherov, gets it to Brown, swings wide. Brown occupied by Jordy Ben. Kucherov knocked down by Brendan Dillon. Puck is tapped free in front of the goal. Jeffrey gets to it. And the pass deflected by Brown comes to Killorn. Back to JT Brown. Poked away. Killorn has it. Loads up with a shot. Tried to center instead. Dillon got a skate on it. Matt Carl down the boards for the Lightning. He's checked by Chiasson. Stamkos right off the bench. Into the action. Carl with him. Stamkos double team. Still maintains control. Carl gives it back to him. Jordy Ben takes him right to the boards. Eric Cole is checked. Stamkos gets the puck back. Thompson for the one-timer. And it was just off the heel of his stick. Cole tipping it out to center ice.
Pioneer being a much more physical team in this period as well, Rick.
Thompson gets the lead pass, dropping it for Callahan. Swings wide, trying to get it in front. Lettman reached out with a goal stick, knocked it away. Stars in a four-man rush. Nichushkin leaving it. Goligoski fires, blocked by Brewer. Well, the first 10 minutes, Chief, it looked like the Lightning versus Calgary. Since it's been Lightning versus Montreal. Saved by Lettman there, and a backhand turnaround by Callahan.
It has been. Both teams can skate, and we're witnessing it here now halfway through this second period. To the score now, and as you see, 9:57 remains in the second period, and head-to-head since 2006, you can see Tampa has won 5 of the 7 games. Power play, first period goals have been a big factor. But this is the first time that these two teams have met here in Tampa since October of 2010.
A lot of the early meetings in Lightning history dominated by the Stars. Lightning 2-0-1 in their last 3 get-togethers here at the Tampa Bay Times Forum. And they've won a grand total of 3 all time in this building against the Stars. So things really turned around in 2005.
Yeah, it did. Almost an entirely different coaching staff, front office, and players. Actually, both teams.
Yep.
I was just going to say Dallas, and then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. Not too many guys on the Lightning bench and behind the bench or even up in the offices that been against this Dallas Star team. As a Lightning.
Puck played in by Goligoski. Hedman steps away from Eakin, the forechecker. Hedman gets it ahead to Johnson. Had to curl it away from Ryan Garbutt, the Brown University product, playing it back to Goligoski. Eakin takes it, lobs it on the wing. Johnson right there to knock down the pass. controls it, and he finds Stamkos. Trying to get it through a couple of players. Seguin blocked that pass. Salo steps into the play and delays before playing that puck. Things get settled down on the change as Filppula. Now to Callahan from the circle in front. Tipped on goal by Filppula. And a save by Kari Lehtonen. Hawley fires, blocked. Goligoski took that one.
That hurt.
Filppula has it back. Lettonen's had some tremendous reaction stops in the second period. Pass now to Purcell. In front, it's deflected by Callahan. Couldn't get it through with Daly defending. And Carl is chased back. Purcell tied up there by Goligoski. And it's sent into the attacking zone for Dallas. Hawley. Gonna move it here. Pass knocked down by Seguin. We haven't seen much of the Dallas forecheck since the first 10 minutes or so of this hockey game. By then they had a 2-0 lead.
Yeah. That's the one thing that Dallas has prided themselves in, is that they really keep coming, no matter if they have that lead. And right now it's not so much what they are doing, it's what they're able to do. Lightning have been really all over them.
Kucherov steps in, shoots, saved by Lehtonen, and the rebound controlled by Killorn. He works in that corner. Kucherov keeps it alive. Gets it in front. Brown fires, blocked by Dillon. Brown gets it back. Lays it down the boards, off the ledge of the boards, and picked out of the air by Jamie Benn. He'll ice it.
Wow. The tale of two periods right now as you take a look. Again, the turnover in the neutral zone. There's that quick shot. And then the puck retrieval. That is what we saw so well against Montreal. So even when they did get a shot on goal and there was a rebound out there, or if they lost the puck, they really worked hard to get it back. And we've seen this now here in the second period. Their puck retrieval skills have been very, very high.
Jamie Benn takes those face-offs in the left circle in the defensive zone. He's very good. He's at about 52%. He wins another one, but they get another icing call. New for the 2014-15 season, the Blue Line Club, featuring center ice seating, VIP parking, and a new third jersey, which will be unveiled next season. For more information on the Blue Line Club, call 813-301-6600 or visit TampaBayLightning.com. Lightning have a 14-3 shot advantage in this second period. However, off that face-off, Seguin checking. And Steve Kazari looks him over. We've got a penalty to the Lightning, and it looks like it's 4 minutes.
Looks like it's Malone's going to go for 4 minutes for high sticking. It's the only thing that's been a saving grace.
Number 12, a 4-minute double minor for high stick.
One thing that's really saved the Dallas right now has been their power play opportunities. There's Malone right here as he come right here. The stick came up and got him. So again, the Lightning are going to be shorthanded.
Eakin battles to win that draw. Daly. Burkhoff in front of the net, shaking free Carl. Takes over in the puck. Andre Palat looking to start something, as John Cooper described the other day. He says early in the shift, go ahead, look for a little offense if you've got full control. Try to generate something shorthanded. Late in the shift, you better just concentrate on getting it down the ice. Lightning had only 3 shorthanded goals the first 50 games of the season. They've had 7 in the last 27. Well, they'd love to have one here. They come all the way back from 3-0 down. They do clear the puck. Daly at center. Stick handles in, meets up with Brewer. Carl driving it up the boards, not much on it. Eakin recovers it, forced to center by Filppula. Even in the down times of this game, Chief has been very effective. He's been sharp from the start.
He really has, and I think that whole line, they started out with Purcell on the wing.
Filppula comes up with a puck, racing ahead. Cole in pursuit. Filppula shoots, a save by Lehtonen, and Callahan couldn't get to the rebound. Seguin with his speed got back. Filppula didn't know he had that puck at first. Thompson comes off the bench with it. Moving it now to Callahan. 2.5 to go in the double minor. Goligoski to center. Jason turns away from Thompson. The pass escapes to center.
And Eric Cole did a nice job too, getting back there very, very quickly to help disrupt Filppula.
Gonchar, the one-timer, pad saved by Bishop. I think Chason got a piece of that out in front. Seguin makes a move in the corner. In behind to Jamie Benn. Gonchar around to Cole. Now Seguin had to stretch for that puck. Schuster got it off his stick. Lightning can't get control. Seguin off the boards. Over for Gonchar. Thompson out to meet him. 142 in the double minor. Gonchar leaned into that one. A save by Bishop. It's rifled right back to Gonchar's stick. Jamie Benn in the slot. Intercepted and Brown clears it out.
Boy, nice play by Schuster. He got that stick down and disrupted that pass.
1:26 to go in the second half of the double minor. Under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Lightning down 3-0 to start the period. Trail now 3-2. Gonchar wresting it through. A save by Bishop. Daly trying to center. Ollie blocked that. Gonchar calls for it, gets it. Eakin wanted the one-timer, but the pass was not in the right spot for him. He, however, works hard to allow the Stars to maintain control. Johnson absorbs a hit from Horcoff. Gonchar with it. Trailed by Tyler Johnson. Been a threat all night for the Lightning. Eakin down low. Sevier. Around they work it. Eakin fakes the shot. Now wresting it through, and it's blocked in front of Ben Bishop. Palat gets it on the forehand. He's got an open wing to try to clear it out. He does. 33 seconds to go on the Malone double minor. Stars held up at the line. Palat anxious to get down the ice. Will settle for sending the Stars back.
Boy, those two guys have just been tremendous. They really set the tone in this penalty kill.
Fiddler putting on a burst. Carl trying to lift the puck away. Fiddler back out to the point. Brendan Dillon handing it to Fiddler. Walks to the middle. Fakes the shot. Stopped by Carl. Dug loose by Callahan. His stick is held by Garvin. A penalty upcoming just as Malone leaves the box. And will get a call against Dallas. The Lightning killing 13 minutes of penalties so far in this game to keep the Stars at bay. They've crept back to 3-2. Nearly tied it here on the try by Filppula.
Lightning down by 1. They just killed off a 4-minute minor. They've killed off a major penalty as well. And this time they almost got a shorthanded goal. Filppula didn't see he had the puck till the very end there. Watch how he gets back there very quickly. Eric Cole got back to disrupt it quite well as he tried to goal, get the puck away and get a backhand over the left pad. Couldn't quite get enough elevation on it. And their bid for their 11th shorthanded goal fell short.
Well, just as Malone left the box, Garvin picks up a holding penalty, and the Lightning on the power play. Only the second time they've had the man advantage in this game. They've got one shot among their 23 on the power play. Hedman trying to get it in front, does so to Palat. We get Callahan, you know where to find him, right in front of Kari Lehtinen. Stamkos in the slot, the shot deflected. Callahan keeping it alive. Filppula's got it. Stamkos went to the bench quickly, just a couple of steps away, got a new stick. Callahan peels off to take the pass. Ryan with 4 goals his last 5 games. Palat dealing it back to Filppula. Fires across, tipped by Palat, got it on goal. Callahan, what an effort to keep that play alive. However, the puck got away from Hedman, and Fiddler clears it. 1:05 to go in the penalty to Garvin. That loose stick, parts of it still out at center ice. Stamkos able to get to the puck. Fires in front. Deflected away by Lehtinen as Callahan was in front. His stick was tied up by Dillon. Jamie Benn lost the handle on it. Palat, lead pass, right to Stamkos. Here's Hedman swinging in wide. Around to Filppula, trying to tip it in front. An easy clear for Cody Eakin. 2 minutes left in a Lightning-dominated second period. They've outchanced Washington going into this power play 9-3. Salo, 5 men hit the red line. He'll bounce it to the corner. Lettinen had to wait. A couple of stops and starts as to whether he was going to play that puck. Sevier got it out to center, and Johnson recovers it.
One of the things that the coaching staff was a little upset with the penalty kill of Dallas is that they weren't using their speed, weren't really aggressive enough along the puck carriers. They've been a little bit better at that here tonight. They've got to really try and hustle it out, and they've done a good job here on this penalty because they didn't allow any shots on goal, or one actually.
Well, the penalty to Garbet's over. Andre Schuster will visit with Chris Stigman downstairs outside the Lightning locker room, and Chris and Dave Andreychuk will take you around the league. Some very important games on the schedule, and we'll have highlights and stats as well. A little happier story to tell. This intermission coming up, and still time for the Lightning to come all the way back from 3-0 down. They have a 24-17 shot advantage. 24-8 the shots since the early start by Dallas. They had a 2-0 lead at 5:37 of the first period. Lettinen loves to play that puck. In fact, Chief, he's got 3 assists and a career total of 21 helpers.
Yeah, I know. 16 of them with Dallas, and he's I think he's second as far as active goalies are concerned with the number of assists. That'd be kind of embarrassing to a defensive defenseman to have the goalie have more points than you.
I think Mike Smith at some point had outpointed a couple of D-men in his time here.
Yeah.
Canadians up 3-0. Pacioretty's got another goal. He's been scoring a ton for Montreal and some very important ones. Here's Seguin for Dallas. Done the same for the Stars. He and Jamie Benn are stopped at the Lightning net, and Stamkos back with 41 seconds to go before the intermission. Jamie Benn scoops up that puck. Hangs onto it. Dealing it now, Seguin wide. Fires a save by Bishop. He had a chance for a full wind-up there.
Boy, that guy gets that blue line. You got to try and confront him physically. You allowed him to stop, make the play, and he and Seguin work so well together. As we pointed out, Rick, in the open, about both of them have over 70 points, and Galagosi's got 39 because he picked up an assist tonight, but that's the next highest guy. He's third in scoring at 39.
Well, the timing of Seguin coming to Dallas coinciding with Jamie Benn's game just being lifted in many, many areas. Named the captain back in September, and he has thrived with that responsibility. And as Ralph Strangis, their TV voice, told us at the intermission, he said, hey, it's their team, Seguin and Jamie Benn. That's what you need to have happen when you're trying to get established under a new ownership. Here's a shot by Horcoff that deflected wide off a crazy bounce from the glass support. The Lightning anxious to get to the locker room. They've climbed back into it here as Andre Schuster scoring his first goal in the National Hockey League to make it a 1-goal game. Steven Stamkos got the earlier goal in the first 2 minutes to set the tone for what was a very good period for Tampa Bay, though the Lightning trail after 40 minutes 3-2. Lightning Hockey has been brought to you by Tampa General Hospital, by the Tampa Bay Times for amazing stories every day. To pick up the Tampa Bay Times or visit tampabay.com. By Chase Bank. And by Subway. Skate hard, eat fresh. Welcome back to downtown Tampa. The young man you saw there skating before the game, wearing that lighted hockey stick, Nolan Aller. His father, Rob, our producer, and Nolan did a great job out there, Gene.
He's better than his dad.
I can't comment on that, and we better not go any further. But we will talk about this upcoming third period and which team are we going to see, the first period or the second period, as far as the Lightning are concerned.
Hopefully it's the second period, because they really, really got their feet going. I thought they did a tremendous job. Puck retrieval was such a big part of that 2-goal that they got on their way to their comeback, and that is going to be so important in this third period.
Well, here's the stats through 40 minutes of play. The Lightning with that wide edge and shots. Keep in mind, Dallas had the first 9. and 24-9 since. Tyler Johnson, 6 of those 24 shots. And Dallas not only had 5 power plays, but they had a double minor situation, so 4 minutes consecutive, and then a 5-minute penalty, a match penalty to Radko Gudas early in the hockey game. So Tampa Bay has done a tremendous job in killing 13 minutes of shorthanded play.
Well, Dallas has had 10 of their 18 shots have come when they've had those power plays. So 8 shots on a 5-on-5 situation.
Now John Cooper wants to have an audience with Mike Lego here a little bit. And he's trying to make sure we can't read his lips in terms of what this is all about. Pierre Rasico was conversing with John before. Lindy Ruffs wants to know what's going on here, and he will get an update from Lego. Lindy's longtime assistant there with the glasses, James Patrick, and Kurt Fraser, who coached Kari Lettinen with the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah.
Is one of his other assistants. Here's James. His brother Steve, a Scotty Bowman draft pick, I believe the year before Dave Andreychuk was selected by the Sabres. First round. Salo leaving that puck for Brewer. It's fired right on goal. A save by Bishop. As the Stars coming out with a little better start than they had in the second period. Of course, they got off to a roaring start in period 1. Valtteri Filppula leans in on Sagan. Has the puck in the corner, playing it behind the net. Callahan can't get around the net to catch up to it. Goligoski playing it to center. Andre Schuster on with Brewer. Brewer looks up ice. Schuster gets to the red line. He'll keep it away from Lettinen, and it's taken by Dillon. On the point, it's Victor Hedman holding it and shooting, and it's deflected by Palat. It ends up off the corner glass. He got his backhand on it, and Garbutt goes flying over Hedman. Here comes a 2-on-1 for Dallas. The pass back into the skates of Eakin, fired by Dillon. A save by Bishop. Covers the puck. The Lightning dodge a missile there.
Boy, I'll tell you what, did they ever. They one too many passes. Take a look at theirs. They tried to jump over Victor Hedman, got lost. There's the pass, and then he just misplayed it. As the pass came back to him, Cody Eakin made a nice set right in the middle of the ice, where you want your player to shoot the puck from. He passes it off to the side, and they don't even get a shot on goal.
Antoine Roussel was thinking pass all the way on that one. Face-off won by Stamkos. Getting to it. It's Sevier, and here's a rebound try by Horkoff. Much stronger start for Dallas here in the third. Here's a steal. Fiddler shoots, he scores. Bernd Fiddler hustled after a loose puck and backhanded it home, and Dallas is back up by 2.
Lightning gave the puck away in the corner. Got a hold of it, you try to go in the middle of the ice, and then watch right here as the play will come in. Stamkos gets the puck, he wants to pass it up. It's taken away from him, and Fiddler scores the goal. They have a 2-goal lead again.
Fiddler had a goal and an assist for the Stars in that 4-2 loss to the Lightning back on March 1st. 6th goal. He just recently had a 4-game point streak. He's not a big scorer, but he's a very handy guy in terms of face-offs, third-line center, killing penalties, and so forth. Good foot soldier to have, and Dallas is getting a lot out of him this year.
They had 3 points in that game in Dallas against the Lightning.
Puck chipped out by Brewer. Icing the call with Nemeth, the first man back. For amazing stories every day and in-depth coverage of tonight's game, pick up the official newspaper of the Tampa Bay Lightning and their fans, the Tampa Bay Times, called 877 The Times, or visit tampabay.com. Unassisted goal for Fiddler.
Well, that's a huge goal for them, and it comes early, so you still have a time to get back, but you got to really make sure you're working hard now.
Ryan Malone Heads for the corner along with Gonchar. Thompson quickly got in there. Justin Jeffrey is on him. Jeffrey, the former Pittsburgh Penguin farmhand mostly. He's coming off a 2-goal game on this trip. Jeffrey against the Capitals in that 5-0 shutout. Matt Carl. He's checked by Eric Cole. Loose puck in the slot. Tapped free, but the Lightning there with Carl controlling. Filppula gathers it in. Teddy Purcell with him. Back to Filppula. Shouldered to the boards by Dillon. Carl along those boards and Filppula controlling. Works against Ryan Garbutt. Dillon got it free, and Callahan slips in there. Centers in front, and it's picked off by Garbutt. As Ollie had moved in from that left point position, the pass back for Eric Cole. He couldn't take it. Garbutt turns, fires it off the side of the goal. It's chopped out in front. Comes to Jordy Ben. Here's the drive by Roussel, and it's handled by Ben Bishop.
That's it. Fiddler had 3 points. He had 2. He had a goal and assist for 2 points in that game. And it was their foot soldiers that were the ones that were scoring and doing all the damage to the Lightning in that game that the Lightning won 4-3 in Dallas.
Stars have missed the playoffs the last 5 years, and certainly knocking at the door now. Starting play tonight, a point behind Phoenix. Coyotes not in action. Stars making up one of their 2 games in hand. They're going to end the season in Phoenix. Final regular season game. Might come right down to that one as to who gets the second wild card in the Western Conference. Pass on the mark to Palat. Can't center against Daly. Stamkos matched up with Goligoski, as that's been the case much of the night. Schuster angled it off the boards. Played by Lettinen, and he'll get a whistle.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lettinen has picked up on the idiosyncrasies of these boards very quickly, because he went right back to the post very, very quickly when Salo tried to make that Karam come right out in front of the net.
And Chief, I remember, I think it was the 03-04 season. Late in that season, he got a big win early in his career, one of his first victories for the Thrashers against the Lightning in this building. He had just earned his first NHL win the previous game and stood on his head in holding off that powerful championship team.
He was a very high draft pick and came over with such great promise, but really struggled with a bunch of injuries in this early part of his career.
Had some conditioning issues too, nutrition. He really wasn't looking after himself. Kept some weird hours from some of the stories you heard from his time in Atlanta. I think they got a little stronger thumb on him here in Dallas, and he certainly learned along the way.
Yeah, he really struggled with dehydration.
Nichushkin stick handles through, cuts in, trying to get a shot away, couldn't against Brewer. Salo pokes it free, and it's taken out by Brown. Gets the red line, and he'll send it in and out of that Dallas bench. That might have hit Goligoski sitting at the end of the bench.
I think it did.
Charge to the playoffs with the Lightning. Get your single game tickets now for the Eastern Conference quarterfinals, starting at just $25 a ticket at Ticketmaster.com or by calling 800-745-3000. Well, Goligoski leads them in block shots, usually on the ice though.
He really started out slowly this year. For them, I think he was like a -9 in about the first dozen games. He's now up to a +6, but still.
Callahan steals that pass from Nichushkin. He'll play it in along with Purcell, and they'll take Dillon right to the end boards. Callahan gets to the loose puck, matched up with Sagan. Filppula just hopped out of the way of that check. However, is no escaping Dillon. Very physical defenseman at 6'3" and 225. Brewer trying to play it back, and it's intercepted by Sagan. He'll bounce it in. Bishop watches it sail wide.
Come take it.
Now, Ruff and the Stars like to lean on Goligoski and Trevor Daley. Daley's played north of 27 minutes a game in a couple of games on this trip. Goligoski Well up there as well. Here's Carl shooting, and he sends it wide. He had room on the glove side and just missed. Stamkos with the try by Palat. Off the side of the net, retrieved by Johnson. Ollie gets it toward the net, steered away by Lettinen. Bailey chops it out of trouble. Lightning hope to build on that foray in the zone. That looked a lot like what we saw in the second period. And here comes Carl down the wing and shooting, and it's blocked by Daly. Palat got it back. Johnson behind the net. Taken over by Eakin, and he'll flip it down the ice. Past the 6-minute mark here in the third. Johnson tips that puck into the attacking zone. Lightning will change. And it's played by Antoine Roussel down the ice. Icing here against Dallas. Let's have a look at the Lightning's road ahead.
Well, at this point, it's not going to go too far. We still have 3 games here in Tampa, as you see. Tuesday, Toronto, Thursday, the Flyers, and Friday, Columbus. And then they will head out Saturday for that afternoon clash with the Washington Capitals. And that will end the regular season play. Playoffs are stated to start on the 16th, if I'm not mistaken, that following Wednesday.
Most of the remaining games on Fox Sports Florida as far as the TV coverage is concerned. So check your local listings on that to be sure. Victor Hedman has the puck. Gets it now to Nate Thompson. Steps inside the center. He'll play it back down the boards. Kari Lettinen there for it. And it's intercepted by Malone. Patrick Nemeth there defensively. Hedman steps off the boards. Nice play. Can't get a shot away. Dustin Jefty right there. And Cole can't get behind Schuster with his long reach at 6'8". Hedman over for Alex Killorn as Malone going to the net. There's a shot, and it's off the stick of Lettinen. That might have tipped off Jordy Ben as well. Back come the Stars. Stevie were dropping it. It brought the shot out the post by Fiddler. He nearly had another one. Salo around to Malone. He'll reverse to Hedman.
Well, he had Bishop beaten there. Looked like Bishop had balance on the wrong foot. Going short side rather than far side.
Purcell with the head of steam, trying to turn the corner on Jordy Ben. Beating an ollie, he shoots, and it's gloved by Lettinen. Stepped away from the traffic there as Dallas leading 4-2. And this shot by Fiddler nearly found the net. Lindy Ruff not only coached Dave Andreychuk later in his career, he was a teammate very early in both of their careers. He talked about that experience and his thoughts about Dave on this special day this morning.
First and foremost, is a guy I played with, probably one of the greatest goal scorers I have ever played with, and was fortunate to play on a line with him at times. In front of the net, I don't know if there's been a better guy in this league to score goals, to find ways to score goals, and he was an incredible player. He was a great teammate, and I had the pleasure of coaching him, and again a guy that played the game the right way and was a valuable piece for us.
Here's a shot handled by Bishop. Rebound came in front. They score! Roussel got to that loose puck in front as the Stars jabbed it loose, and Dallas now leading 5-2, pleasing their coach Lindy Ruff, who sent along his congratulations to Dave Andreychuk this morning when we talked to him.
Well, this play all happens. It's just they just get on the puck like we saw in the first period. They were very quick to the puck. The shot from the from a wide angle, bad angle rather, the puck wasn't be able to grab a hold of it very quickly. And then you see there, they got in there very, very quickly. And then in front, pump it home. And Roussel picks up the goal. Garbutt knocked it loose as he went to the net.
Well, Roussel also scored. He had the other goal for Dallas in that previous meeting with the Lightning. It's his 14th here, so not only has he racked up the penalty minutes, as we talked about earlier, he's contributed in a feisty role. Nichushkin back into that Lightning zone, fires across to Sagan, sets it up. There's a shot sent wide by Nemeth. Brewer gets it free. Lightning back down by 3 goals. They were trailing 3-0. Got to within 3-2 by the second intermission, but Dallas has come back with renewed purpose and had at least a 7-2 shot advantage. And they've scored to make it 5-2. Carl sets up behind the net. Hurried in there by Eric Cole. All he gets it free to Thompson. Rifles it ahead, and it kicks off the stick of Dillon, the skate of Malone, and into the crowd.
Garbutt and Eakin will pick up the assists on Roussell's 14th of the year. And the way Dallas is going right now, it's going to be a major task to get back those 3.
And we talked about their 16-8-3 record in the last 27 games. In that span, they've had a goal differential of +20. So they've been scoring and they've been keeping it out of the net.
Yeah.
Plenty of evidence of that in this game tonight. Shots are 26 apiece. Bishop out to play the puck. Moving it to Carl. Up the boards. Nobody there but Jordy Ben. Wristing it in front. Tipped on goal. A save by Bishop on the deflection by Chiasson. Thompson checked along the boards by Alex Chiasson. Chiasson back to his skates. Cole fires in front, deflected by Dustin Jeffrey just wide. He gets it back. Dillon off the stick of Cole. Thompson back into that corner with Eric Cole, and he runs into Teddy Purcell. Cole out in front, trying to make a backhand play that was blocked, and Purcell motors to center for the Lightning. He'll chip it in. Tampa Bay needs a change.
Well, it's almost too different. Dallas is playing like the Lightning were in that second period.
Aerial pass by the stick of Horkoff. They're looking for Fiddler. That's cut off by Hedman. He one-hands it ahead to Ryan Callahan. Fires it off the stick, comes back to it. Callahan lugs it in. He saw that hit coming from Goligoski. Stars lifted out through center. Hedman back. Schuster into that zone. Couldn't get the shot through. Callahan sends it wide. Filppula with it. Hedman around to Andre Schuster. Angles it off the boards again, and once again Lettinen able to get that catching glove down and on top of the puck. And the goal by Roussel has made it 5-2. Dallas leading 5-2. Let's have a look at some highlights brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Second period, the Lightning really started storming the net as well as the Dallas end. This is the third period goals, and Dallas picking up 2 goals very, very quickly. One by Fiddler, the first one, that was really a shocker at 1:26, an unassisted goal on a turnover in the corner. And then Roussel and Dallas, just with their speed and their tenacity, set up that goal.
Lightning trying to create something around the Dallas net with the Stamkos, Palat, and Johnson crew. They've been fairly dangerous in this one. Cutting to the net, Roussel with a pass behind him. And the Lightning move it back with Palat. Couldn't get it behind Goligoski. Trevor Daley takes it. Schuster. Victor Hedman looks up ice, finds Johnson. He'll backhand it in. Tampa Bay will change it up. 8:40 to go here in this third period. Goligoski of the University of Minnesota. Big collision with Brown, easing up really on that collision with Jamie Benn. He could have really taken a little harder shot at him had he chose to. Here's Kucherov, makes his move to the net. The shot knocked out. Got it back. It's covered by Lettinen.
Oh, big save. He had 2 chances there, and it looked like he almost got it the second time, and Lettinen very quickly looked behind. But watch out, Kucherov gets in front, quick shot, second one right there, and Lettinen makes the big save and closes the pads quickly to keep the Lightning from getting their third. He's had a pretty solid game. Lightning got those 2 goals early in that second period, but he's settled down. Lightning had 16 shots to Dallas' 7 in that second period, and he gave up just those 2, the only 2 of the game so far.
Now Lettinen enjoying his 4th 30-win season of his career, and 3 have been here in the 5 years he's been with Dallas. Thompson leaning in, wins the faceoff. Horkoff takes over. We'll bring it back to center. Kucherov there, but he's double teamed. Stars keep it moving up the boards. Carl pries it loose, sends it back where Brown picks it up off the glass and gets it out. Now Sevier with a big hit on Brown. He didn't like that at all, and they're looking at each other, and play will continue. Fiddler chopping at it. The Stars might have been reacting to that hit on Jamie Benn, but I'm telling you, Chief, that's the area where a guy, if he really unloads, he not only could cause an injury, he puts himself in trouble in terms of supplemental discipline. And Brown restrained himself, but he certainly got a good piece of Jamie Benn at the same time.
Yeah, he just stood in front of him, you know, really. Didn't take a run at him, just prevented him physically from moving anywhere.
But again, the culture has developed in this league where every hit has to be answered.
Yep.
Callahan shooting, and it's blocked by Jordie Benn. Filppula finds Hedman shooting into a crowd. Knockdown, rebound is sent wide by Killorn. Big hit thrown in that corner by Valtteri Filppula. Got yanked to the ice. Cole playing it behind the net. And Filppula and Goligoski still going at it. Hedman has the puck.
Goligoski grabbed his stick.
Seen that a couple of times tonight with Stars playing sticks, loose sticks away from players, and of course that's an interference call in the rule book. Salo, pass relay to Stamkos, down the wing, shooting, and a save. Blocker stopped there by Lettinen, delayed call against Dallas upcoming. Salo with the puck. Johnson reaching for it, and with Roussel involved, we do get a whistle. Looks like it might be too many men on the ice at 13:41.
Dallas Stars bench minor, too many men on the ice.
Yep, you're right on the money, Rick. Lightning will get just their 3rd power play opportunity. Comes at 13:41.
Sagan will serve that minor. Johnson digging into this faceoff, and the Lightning gain control. Carl around for Alex Killorn. Double teamed. Jamie Benn gets it loose. He'll wrist it down the ice. And the sellout crowd of 18,204. Hoping this power play can come to life here.
Salo had a stick just slashed out of his hands right in front of the referee, but no call.
Purcell. Pass never reached Salo, who was able to stop by the Lightning bench and get a new stick. That puck went in and out of the Dallas bench. 1:26 to go on the bench penalty. It has been odd how these little plays revolving around Lightning sticks have gone undetected tonight, but that's just been part of the issue, certainly, with a score 5-2.
They really start to take the reins off the penalty calls, I think, in the latter stages here. You know, halfway through the year, they're up till halfway through the year, even 3/4 of the year, they called the game very, very closely. Now they're getting everybody ready for playoff action.
Hedman makes his way up the middle, enters that zone, leaving it for Callahan. Back to Hedman across for Stamkos, and stayed on the line, and the Lightning remain in the zone. Palat's pass deflected, taken by Garbutt, tried to lean on that clear. He got it by Hedman. A minute to go in the penalty. 5:15 to go in this third period. Lightning trailing 5-2. Stamkos waiting at the line. Bunted by Filppula, but right to the Stars. They move it quickly to Antoine Roussel. Leaving it, Jamie Benn shoots, and it's deflected over the net by Filppula. He bumps into Roussel as the Lightning gain control. Callahan hits Palat with a pass. Too many Stars on the scene. The Lightning well up ice. And it's picked up now by Roussel. He steps in a one-on-one. Carl tipped that one wide. 23 seconds to go on the Dallas penalty. Nikita Kucherov. Bands on his pass. He'll just dump it in. Jordy Benn there for it. Comes off the glass. Thompson reaching for it. And it's chipped away by Brendan Dillon. And the puck deflected with a high stick. And the penalty ending. Seguin steps out of the box. 4:19 to go in the third. And Dallas leads 5-2.
Here's tonight's star of the game, brought to you by Tampa Bay Times. For amazing stories every day, pick up the Tampa Bay Times or visit your TampaBay.com. And it's Jamie Benn. 2 goals and an assist, +3. Over 20 minutes of ice time. 4:19 remains. He'll probably add to that total. He, along with Seguin, played not only strong offensively, but they are usually out there in key moments defensively as well.
Well, you're looking at the Dave Andreychuk statue that was unveiled in a ceremony out on the plaza, Thunder Alley, before the game. And we have got the complete ceremony coming your way. It will be carried after our game here tonight. So by all means, stay with us and enjoy the entire ceremony with luminaries such as Lightning owner Jeff Finnick, Phil Esposito, Scotty Bowman speaking, and the captain himself. Family on hand. What an emotional night for the Andreychuk family. And a great moment for the captain. Pass for Cole. Cuts into that zone. Swings wide against Matt Carl. At the point, Gonchar shooting, and it's followed by Bishop. He gloves it and hangs on. Jamie Benn with the 4 2-goal games this season. He's never had a hat trick.
Well, he's had, as you pointed out earlier in the telecast, Rick, he's having a career year. He has his Tyler Seguin. I just find that kind of incredible when you got Seguin there on the left, Jamie Benn in the middle there, both over 70 points, and Goligoski 40 points back, almost 30 anyway, and 39 points with that assist tonight.
I think they were counting on Eric Cole helping them a lot. I think they're happy with what they've gotten out of him. He's got 16 goals, but he's been hurt. In fact, he just missed 7 games with an upper body injury coming back tonight. Jordy Benn. Here's a shot deflected as Dillon let it go. Hedman up the boards, played by Jordy Benn. And controlled now by Filppula. The Lightning now, Chief, they pointed in 12 consecutive games. And now have lost 3 out of 4. And looking to get back on the winning track against the Leafs on Tuesday. And Toronto's kind of regained their footing a little bit after losing 8 in a row, winning a couple, including an overtime win over the Bruins. Under 3 minutes to go in this third period if Tampa Bay can't make it back from 5-2 down. Out in front, the shot by Stamkos, blocked by Jordy Benn.
One of those things you gotta...
Lightning with 6 skaters on, and Bishop in the bench. Stamkos fires, missed the net. Jordy Benn getting to it, leading it. Stamkos there, shoveling it off. Filppula. Filppula spins off the check. Out to Schuster at the point. Wristing it through, deflected, and a stick save by Lettinen. Rebound knocked down. The Lightning keep it down low and below that goal line. Filppula trying to get it in front. Dillon, who's been solid tonight for Dallas, made a block there. Stamkos has to retrieve the puck under 2 minutes to go. Work free, and Cody Eakin gets to center. He'll just angle it back, permitting a line change well away from the bench. Knocked free as Benn has it, looking to complete the hat trick, blocked by Carl. Jamie Benn knocks down Matt Carl. Seguin getting to the puck. Looks for Ben. Deflected wide. Killorn got in there with a stick. Lightning trying their best to deny Jamie Benn that hat trick.
Give Dallas the puck right now. That's good because they got a delayed penalty coming. That's why you see Daly waiting and waiting.
And with 1:17 to go in this third period, Dallas up 5-2. We've got a penalty called against the Stars.
Hooking's going to be the call. I think it's going to be Jamie Benn. Hooked the Lightning player right behind the net when he did there. It was Alex Killorn as he was trying to get to that loose puck.
Well, teams can come back from 3 goals down. Detroit has done it against Montreal with 7:31 left in the third. The Red Wings have tied that game at 3. 3 goals in 5.5 minutes.
Lightning players, everybody talking about getting home ice. They got to be worried about Detroit taking over in the top 3 and then dropping down to a wild card.
Lightning with 6 skaters on, an empty net behind him, and the Stars down a man. Face-off won by Dallas. Clearing attempt knocked down by Stamkos. Stamkos moving it around for Palat. Out to Hedman. Now to Callahan, side of the goal, trying to make a move in front. Stamkos with under a minute to go to Callahan, feeding it. Filppula shoots, and it's knocked down by Jordy Ben. Got it free, and Fiddler makes his way to center. He'll shoot toward the empty net and miss it. And the Lightning come up with it. With Jamie Benn in the penalty box, 40 seconds to go on the clock in regulation, and Filppula dropping it off for Palat. Steps in, fires off a skate to Hedman. Back to Stamkos, stationed in the corner. Rink wide pass is tipped back to Schuster. Schuster looking for Stamkos, put it on his blade, it bounced away. Now Palat firing off the post. Dillon shovels it up the boards and out of the zone with 12 seconds to go. Filppula steps in for the Lightning. Beating a throw. Schuster couldn't get it on goal. Curled it in front. Taken away, though, by the Stars. And it's fired wide by Johnson. That'll do it. Now the Lightning, trailing 3-0 in the first period, battled back to get within a goal on Stamkos's and Schuster's goals in the second. Great pressure on Kari Lehtinen, but Dallas coming back and reestablishing the lead in the third. Kari Lehtinen in the game, making 27 saves, and the Stars win it by the score of 5-2. And our coverage here on CW44 will continue in just a moment.